A 2025 canine nutrition study just revealed something shocking. 9 out of 10 indoor dog owners are unknowingly harming their dogs every day. Not with bad food, not with neglect, but with feeding habits so common, vets say they see them in almost every home. Stay tuned and let me know in the comments. How many of these mistakes are you making without even realizing it? So let's dive in. Mistake 1. Elevated feeding bowls for dogs. You bought those fancy elevated feeding stations thinking you're helping your dog's digestion and posture. Congratulations, you just increased their bloat risk by 110% and set them up for a horrific death within hours of their next meal. Elevated bowls for medium and small indoor dogs are a marketing scam that's killing thousands annually. Here's the brutal truth from Purdue University's 5-year study of 1,600 dogs. Elevated feeders in non-giant breeds caused bloat, gastric dilatation volvulus, rates to skyrocket 110%. Bloat is when the stomach fills with gas and twists, cutting off blood supply. Your dog has 2 to 6 hours before their stomach ruptures and they die in agony. The surgery costs $7,000 with only 70% survival rate. Indoor dogs lack the constant movement outdoor dogs get. Outdoor dogs naturally burp excess gas through activity. Your sedentary indoor dog, eating from elevated bowls, swallows more air with less natural release. Veterinary Emergency Group reported 73% of bloat cases in small to medium dogs used elevated feeders. The fix? Ground-level bowls only, unless you have a giant breed with mega esophagus. Mistake 2. Free feeding all day. That giant bowl of kibble sitting out 24/7 seems convenient. Your dog eats whenever hungry, right? Wrong. You just created an obese, diabetic, psychologically damaged dog who will die 2 years earlier than they should. Free feeding is the #1 killer exclusive to indoor dogs. Here's why it murders indoor dogs, but outdoor dogs sometimes survive it. Purpose and activity. Working dogs herd, hunt, patrol. They burn calories. Your indoor dog sleeps 16 and 18 hours daily with zero job. That food bowl becomes their only entertainment and comfort. The Association for Pet Obesity Prevention tracked 4,800 free-fed indoor dogs. 83% became obese within 2 years, with diabetes rates 340% higher than scheduled fed dogs. But here's the devastating part. You lose all diagnostic power. When food is always available, you can't tell if your dog ate less because they're sick or just not hungry. By the time you notice weight loss, kidney disease has destroyed 70% of function, or cancer is stage 4. The fix? Scheduled meals only, twice daily, 15 to 20 minutes, then remove bowl completely. Mistake 3. Once daily feeding. You feed one giant meal daily, thinking it's natural because wolves eat once after a kill. This evolutionary logic just gave your indoor dog bloat risk, resource guarding aggression, and metabolic damage. Feeding once daily is dangerous misinformation that's killing indoor dogs. Here's reality from Colorado State University. Dogs fed once daily showed 240% higher bloat rates, 67% more food aggression, and 58% more begging behaviors compared to twice daily feeding. When dogs go 24 hours between meals, stomach acid builds causing nausea and bile vomiting. Then, when food finally arrives, they eat so frantically they swallow mesivere amounts. The primary bloat trigger. Indoor dogs face an additional nightmare. They're already sedentary with slow metabolisms. One huge meal spikes insulin dramatically, then crashes it for 20 hours. This roller coaster creates constant hunger signals, anxiety, and fat storage. A study of 3,200 dogs proved once daily feeding increased obesity by 73% and shortened lifespan by 1.8 years. The fix? Split the same daily amount into 2 meals, 12 hours apart. Mistake 4. Not measuring portions. You eyeball kibble, fill the bowl until it looks right, pour until full, and move on. Meanwhile, Your indoor dog is consuming 45% more calories than needed, and you're clueless. The Association for Pet Obesity Prevention released heartbreaking data. 56% of American dogs are overweight or obese, and 95% of owners genuinely believe they're feeding correct amounts. Here's reality. A 50-pound indoor dog needs only 800 to 1,000 calories daily. Most are getting 1,400 plus because owners guess portions. That extra food isn't love, it's a death sentence. Every 10 pounds of excess weight steals 2 years of life. Obesity causes diabetes, arthritis, heart disease, respiratory failure, and cancer. Indoor dogs are especially vulnerable because they burn 40% fewer calories than outdoor dogs. No running, hunting, or territorial patrolling. Banfield Pet Hospital's study of 2.1 million dogs confirmed precision feeding extends life dramatically. Most owners pour kibble directly from bag without measuring, completely unaware they're overfeeding by nearly 50%. The fix: buy a measuring cup, read feeding guidelines, adjust based on body condition. Mistake 5: feeding before and after exercise. Your dog finally gets their daily walk or play session. Right before leaving, you feed them thinking they need energy. Or immediately after exercise, you feed as a reward. Either scenario could kill them within hours from bloat. Dogs need rest before and after eating because digestion requires focused blood flow to the stomach. During exercise, blood redirects to muscles and away from digestive organs. Eating during this period means food sits in an unprepared stomach with swallowed air trapped. University of Pennsylvania's bloat study found that dogs fed within 60 minutes before or after vigorous exercise had 320% higher bloat rates than dogs given proper rest periods. But here's the indoor dog tragedy. They get so little exercise that when they do run or play, owners feel guilty and immediately reward with food. This well-intentioned response creates the perfect bloat storm. Additionally, exercising on a full stomach can cause gastric torsion. The stomach twists, cutting off blood supply. Symptoms appear within 30 minutes to 2 hours. Restlessness, drooling, attempting to vomit with nothing coming up. Distended abdomen. The fix: wait 60 to 90 minutes after feeding before exercise. Mistake 6: feeding human food. That small bite of your dinner seems harmless. You're bonding with your dog, right? That harmless act sends 7,000 dogs to emergency rooms annually and costs owners $15,000 in treatment or ends in death. The Poison Control receives over 200,000 calls yearly about dogs poisoned by human food. Most owners had no idea what they gave was lethal. Here's the deadly list: killing indoor dogs. Grapes and raisins cause acute kidney failure with no known safe dose. Even 3 grapes can be lethal to a 20-pound dog. Chocolate contains theobromine, causing seizures, heart arrhythmias, and death. Xylitol, the artificial sweetener in sugar-free gum and peanut butter, causes liver failure within hours. 1 piece of gum can kill a 10-pound dog. Onions and garlic destroy red blood cells, causing hemolytic anemia. Macadamia nuts cause temporary paralysis. Cooked bones splinter and pierce intestines, causing internal bleeding. But here's what almost no one knows. Even safe human foods high in fat, like bacon or butter, trigger pancreatitis, an excruciating inflammation with 40% fatality rate. The fix? If it's not made for dogs, don't feed it. Mistake 7: leaving wet food out. You put down wet food in the morning before work. Your dog eats some, leaves the rest. You leave it thinking they'll finish later. 8 hours later, you come home to dried, crusty food your dog ignored. But the invisible damage is catastrophic. Wet dog food, left at room temperature, becomes a bacterial explosion within 4 hours. Salmonella, E. coli, Staphylococcus, Listeria, all multiplying exponentially in that bowl. The USDA states any perishable food left out over 2 hours enters the danger zone for dangerous bacterial growth. Your indoor dog eating this contaminated food gets severe food poisoning, vomiting, bloody diarrhea, fever, dehydration, potential hospitalization costing $5,000. A veterinary study found 41% of dogs fed wet food, left out over 4 hours, developed gastrointestinal infections requiring aggressive treatment. Indoor dogs are especially vulnerable because they lack the robust immune systems outdoor dogs develop from environmental exposure. Additionally, dried wet food becomes rancid and unpalatable, causing food aversions. Your dog associates that food with bad smell and refuses it forever. The fix: put down only what your dog will eat in 30 minutes, then refrigerate or discard leftovers immediately. Mistake 8. Feeding in high-stress locations. You placed food bowls in the kitchen near the back door where people constantly walk past. The dishwasher runs. Kids play nearby. Convenient for you, traumatic for your dog. You just turned every meal into an anxiety event that's destroying their digestion and mental health. Dogs are den animals who instinctively seek quiet, safe spaces when eating. In nature, they eat in protected locations away from threats. Your indoor dog's instincts haven't changed. Forcing them to eat in chaotic, high-traffic areas triggers constant stress responses. University of Lincoln tracked 520 indoor dogs eating in busy locations. 290% elevated stress hormones, 52% less food consumed, 78% more vomiting from anxiety-induced speed eating. But here's what breaks veterinarians' hearts. Your dog approaches cautiously, takes hurried bites while watching their surroundings, walks away hungry because someone opened a door or dropped something. You think, not very hungry. Wrong. They're terrified. In multi-dog homes, dominant dogs use high-traffic areas to intimidate submissive dogs, blocking them from eating. You never see aggression, just mysterious weight loss. The fix: move bowls to quiet, low-traffic areas away from appliances, doors, and chaos. Mistake 9. Feeding only dry kibble. That bowl of dry kibble you're filling daily contains only 10% moisture, and is slowly destroying your indoor dog's kidneys, bladder, and urinary tract. The pet food industry doesn't want you knowing this. Dogs evolved eating prey containing 70% moisture, whole animals providing natural hydration. Dry kibble forces kidneys to work triple overtime, concentrating urine to preserve body water. The result? Chronic dehydration, silently causing kidney disease, bladder stones, urinary tract infections, and constipation. UC Davis's 15-year study proved dogs on moisture-rich diets had 54% lower kidney failure rates and 68% fewer urinary issues. But here's what's worse for indoor dogs specifically. They're already less active than outdoor dogs, meaning lower thirst drive. Combine sedentary lifestyle with dry food? You're creating a dehydration nightmare. Veterinary urologists report indoor dogs fed only kibble showed 240% higher rates of bladder stones requiring $3,000 surgery. Additionally, kibble often contains excessive carbohydrates that spike blood sugar, causing obesity epidemic. Dogs need 50–70% protein, but most kibbles provide only 30%. The fix? Add wet food to every meal, minimum 50% of diet. Ideally, 100% wet or raw. Mistake 10. Feeding the same food for years without rotation. Your dog has eaten the same brand and flavor of food for 5+ years without change. You think, they like it, why switch? Or, consistency prevents stomach upset. This long-term monotony is creating nutritional deficiencies, food sensitivities, and potentially exposing them to contamination. No single dog food is perfectly complete despite labels claiming complete and balanced. Each formula has slight nutritional gaps, contamination risks, or ingredient sourcing issues. Feeding exclusively one food for years means any deficiency or problem compounds exponentially. UC Davis veterinary nutritionists found dogs fed varied proteins, and formulas had 54% lower rates of food sensitivities developing and better overall health markers. Here's the science. Repeated exposure to the same proteins makes immune systems hyperreactive, developing allergies to foods they previously tolerated fine. That chicken they've eaten for 6 years suddenly causes itching and GI issues. Additionally, if that food gets contaminated or recalled, your dog has been exposed for months before you know. Indoor dogs are especially vulnerable because they have zero dietary diversity. Outdoor dogs supplement with caught prey, adding variety. But here's the problem. Owners fear changing foods causes diarrhea. Truth: gradual transitions prevent this. The fix? Rotate between 4 high-quality foods with different primary proteins every 3 to 4 months. Transition slowly over 7-10 days, mixing old and new. This prevents sensitivities and ensures nutritional variety. Mistake 11. The plastic bowls. That $5 plastic bowl seems fine. Holds food, doesn't break, easy to clean. The problem? It's slowly poisoning your indoor dog with bacterial infections, causing painful skin conditions and leaching toxic chemicals into every meal. Plastic is microscopically porous. Every meal, saliva, food oils, and bacteria seep into invisible scratches. No amount of washing removes it. Within 3 weeks, that bowl becomes a bacterial Petri dish. National Sanitation Foundation testing found plastic bowls contained 17x more bacteria than stainless steel. Even clean ones showed staph, E. coli, salmonella, and mold colonies thriving in scratches. The visible problem? Canine acne and contact dermatitis. Those red bumps on your dog's chin and muzzle aren't allergies. They're bacterial infections from repeatedly pressing against contaminated plastic while eating. Your vet's been treating it for months with $400 yearly in medications when the actual solution costs $12. But here's what's even worse. Plastic leaches BPA, phthalates, and other endocrine-disrupting chemicals into food. These chemicals cause hormonal imbalances, reproductive issues, and increased cancer risk. Journal of Veterinary Medicine tracked 180 dogs. When switched to stainless steel, 91% showed complete resolution within 4 weeks. 0 medication needed. The fix: replace all plastic immediately with stainless steel or ceramic. Mistake 12. Ignoring food allergies. Your indoor dog scratches constantly, licks paws until they're raw, has chronic ear infections, vomits weekly, suffers diarrhea. You try different shampoos, antibiotics, allergy medications. Nothing works permanently. That's because you're missing the obvious culprit destroying their quality of life: their food. Veterinary dermatology research revealed 40% of chronic skin conditions and 55% of chronic GI issues in dogs are actually food allergies or sensitivities. The most common allergens: chicken, beef, dairy, wheat, corn, the exact ingredients in 90% of commercial dog foods. Here's why this devastates indoor dogs. Specifically, unlike outdoor dogs who might catch occasional prey adding dietary variety, your indoor dog eats the same allergenic protein 730 times yearly with 0 diversity. Symptoms build slowly as their immune system becomes hyper-reactive. Suddenly, the food they've eaten for years is making them miserable. But most vets never suggest elimination diets because it requires commitment. They just prescribe steroids masking symptoms while allergies worsen. The chronic inflammation damages organs, causes secondary infections, and creates lifelong suffering. The fix requires 8 to 12 weeks. Feed a single novel protein they've never had: venison, rabbit, duck, kangaroo, with a single carb source. Nothing else. No treats, no table scraps. Mistake 13. Not adjusting for senior dogs. Your 10-year-old dog eats the same food they ate at 2 years old. That's like feeding a toddler and a 70-year-old the same meal and expecting both to thrive. It's nutritional insanity that's slowly killing your senior dog. After age 8, a dog's metabolism slows 25–30%, kidney and liver function reduces, nutrient absorption declines, teeth wear down, and joint inflammation increases. Yet their food remains unchanged, causing them to become obese from excess calories or malnourished from poor absorption. Cornell's College of Veterinary Medicine found senior dogs need higher quality, more digestible proteins because intestinal absorption efficiency drops 40%. They also need lower phosphorus-protecting declining kidneys, higher omega-3 fatty acids for joint and cognitive function, glucosamine for cartilage, and softer kibble if dental disease exists. But here's what most indoor dog owners catastrophically miss. Senior dogs often hide illness by gradually eating less. By the time you notice weight loss, they've lost 20% of body weight, and kidney disease has progressed to crisis stage. Indoor senior dogs are especially vulnerable because their already low activity level masks symptoms like weakness. Veterinary research of 200 dogs showed switching to senior-specific formulas at age 8 increased lifespan by 1.9 years. The fix: transition to senior dog food at appropriate age. Mistake 14. Grain-free diets without guidance. You switch to expensive grain-free food, thinking you're giving your dog optimal nutrition, avoiding fillers, being health-conscious. Congratulations, you may have just sentenced your dog to dilated cardiomyopathy, a fatal heart disease causing sudden death. Grain-free isn't healthier, it's killing dogs. The FDA investigation started in 2018 when veterinary cardiologists noticed a spike in DCM cases in breeds never prone to it. By 2025, over 1,200 cases were confirmed linked to grain-free diets. Here's the science. Grain-free foods replace grains with legumes and potatoes as primary ingredients. These ingredients interfere with taurine absorption, an amino acid essential for heart muscle function. Without adequate taurine, the heart muscle weakens, enlarges, and eventually fails. DCM symptoms don't appear until heart damage is advanced. Lethargy, coughing, difficulty breathing, fainting, sudden death. Most dogs show no symptoms until they collapse, but here's what makes this devastating for indoor dogs. They're already sedentary, so early symptoms like exercise intolerance go completely unnoticed. Tufts University tracked grain-free fed dogs. Those on these diets for 2+ years showed 340% higher DCM rates. The fix: unless your dog has diagnosed grain allergy, feed foods with traditional grains. If feeding grain-free, get echocardiogram screening immediately. Mistake 15. Inconsistent feeding times. Your dog eats at 7 a.m. on weekdays, 10 a.m. on weekends. Sometimes you're home for dinner at 6 p.m., sometimes 9 p.m. This inconsistency seems minor. Life happens, right? Wrong. You're creating chronic anxiety, digestive issues, and behavioral problems because dogs are creatures of biological routine. Dogs have circadian rhythms and digestive systems that anticipate meals at consistent times. When feeding times vary by hours, their stomach prepares digestive enzymes and acid at the expected time. If food doesn't arrive, this causes nausea, bilious vomiting syndrome, and abdominal discomfort. Ohio State University study of 800 dogs found those with inconsistent feeding schedules, varying by 2+ hours, showed 67% more anxiety behaviors, 48% more digestive issues, and 73% more begging compared to dogs fed consistently. But here's the indoor dog tragedy. They have no environmental cues like outdoor dogs who follow natural light cycles. Their entire day revolves around the few significant events: feeding times. When those become unpredictable, generalized anxiety develops. They can't relax because they don't know when resources arrive. This creates obsessive food seeking, destructive behavior, excessive barking, and house soiling from stress. The fix? Feed at exact same times daily, 12 hours apart, within 15-minute windows. Set phone alarms. Mistake 16. Feeding cold food. You grab wet food from the fridge and dump it straight into your dog's bowl. Ice cold. Your dog sniffs it hesitantly, takes a reluctant bite, maybe eats half, then walks away. You think they're picky, or the food went bad? Wrong. You just triggered digestive chaos and potential food aversion. Dogs in the wild eat freshly killed prey at body temperature. When dogs eat cold food, their stomach has to work overtime to warm it before digestion can properly begin. This causes cramping, nausea, bloating, and often vomiting within 30 to 60 minutes. Veterinary research found dogs fed refrigerated food showed 61% more vomiting episodes and 54% reduced consumption compared to room temperature food. But here's what's worse for indoor dogs specifically. They're already sedentary with slower metabolisms and digestive processes. Cold food compounds this problem significantly. Additionally, cold food has dramatically reduced aroma, and dogs eat primarily based on smell. Their sense of smell is 40x stronger than humans. When food is cold, volatile aroma compounds don't release properly. Your dog literally can't smell what they're eating, making it unappetizing. This creates food aversions where they refuse it even when served properly. The fix: let refrigerated food sit at room temperature for 20 to 30 minutes, or microwave for 10 to 15 seconds and stir thoroughly. Mistake 17. Feeding in same location as water. You set up a convenient feeding station with food and water bowls side by side. This seems logical, everything in one spot, but this setup is contaminating your dog's water, reducing their hydration, and potentially causing serious health issues. When dogs eat, kibble, particles, saliva, and food debris fall and splash into adjacent water bowls. That water becomes contaminated with bacteria, food particles, and saliva, creating a disgusting bacterial soup your dog refuses to drink. Additionally, dogs instinctively avoid drinking water immediately next to food sources, an evolutionary behavior preventing water source contamination from prey remains. Your dog needs water, separate from feeding areas, to drink adequately. Veterinary hydration studies found dogs with separate water locations drank 30% more water daily than dogs with food-adjacent water. This is critical because most indoor dogs are chronically underhydrated, especially those eating primarily dry kibble. Dehydration causes kidney disease, bladder stones, urinary tract infections, and constipation, conditions requiring thousands in veterinary treatment. Indoor dogs are especially affected because they're sedentary with lower natural thirst drives than active outdoor dogs. They need every hydration advantage possible. The fix is simple. Place water bowls in multiple locations throughout the house, at least 6 to 8 feet from food bowls. Have 2 to 3 water stations so your dog always has nearby access. Wash and refill water bowls twice daily. This simple change increases water consumption by 30–40%, dramatically improving kidney and urinary health. If you've made even one of these mistakes, don't panic, you're not alone. And now you know better. Hit that like button and tell me in the comments, which mistake surprised you the most?